Hi there, Sunday Sippers. My name is Fee from the Riverina Wellness Centre and Mind Your Matter Healing. And this is our weekly wellness chat for the mind, body, and soul. Tea with Fee. Come and sit, have a cup of tea, have a water, have a whatever you like, but just sit and be for maybe half an hour. We'll just have a little bit of a chat, a debrief about the last week and how we can set ourselves up for the week ahead from the best place of wellness that we can. And boy, it has been a wild ride so far this year. Hey, this year it's really only just felt like it started probably in the last few weeks. Astronomically, as far as the universe is concerned, we did only just celebrate the new year, like on the 20th of March. So many people have been very sluggish. This year has started off very disjointed. There's been a lot of issues for people. And we're kind of facing now the rest of the year going, oh my God, I've had enough already. So exhaustion is on board. Most of the people that are aligned to this sort of work are carers or empaths. So there is a lot of fatigue on board just for being a carer and thinking for others. And also a lot of people just giving so much of our energy away. So what I wanted to talk about today was the exhaustion, the fatigue that can come with being a carer for others and even caring for yourself. You know, we get tired of doing all the right things and it just gets too much sometimes and we fall back into patterns that aren't the best for us. But, you know, there's so much about this energy protection. We feel we need to protect our energy against negativity and against people. But I just wanted to have a bit of a chat and shed a different light to all of that kind of discussion. So I'm just getting on to some IT and just sharing this out to different platforms for anyone that wants to join us. So if you are on live, feel free, say hello. I'm just going to forward this. Excuse me for doing this work. I need an assistant. I should borrow a small child. So I'm here on my little front veranda and just escaping the noise and activity of my home and all the bodies that play within it. And give myself a little bit of space for my energy so I can talk from me instead of from the push-pull of my little world. So I think I'm just poking buttons here to share it all out. If you've watched one of these videos before and you find them helpful, do feel free to share it out into your own networks for people that you think may benefit from these kind of chats. So I think I've done it all now. Next. So, right, exhaustion. What I wanted to talk about is exhaustion of so many different levels, be it exhaustion of the mind, of the body, or of the heart. This poor little heart that does get worn out, fatigued with caring for ourselves and for others. So all this beautiful stuff doesn't happen naturally. We actually do need to put a bit of work and effort into our own well-being so we can be the best person we can for those that we love. And when you become exhausted, it's just really hard even to get up and do the things that we know are good for us to do for our own wellness. So for today's tea, I'm having green tea with some mint. So different teas, different smells. Sorry about that notification. unless it just came in my ear only. So different smells will excite different parts of our body, and we can use smells to help dissipate emotions, or to help actually us process emotions, like sit with them or even recognize that they're there. I've got gardening activity in the background here, excuse me. So when we're talking about exhaustion of the mind or the body or the heart, this is this three-legged tripod we have of the mind, body, soul. So if one of them is lacking, if one of your tripod legs is falling short, the whole lot is wobbly. And sometimes, if it's the head that's exhausted, it's hard to fix it with the head. And if the body's exhausted, it's hard to fix it with the body. So this is why we use all legs of the tripod sometimes. So if the mind is exhausted, instead of, some people will try and use meditation or reading a book or different things to try and relax the mind. And sometimes it's very difficult because that's where the exhaustion is. So that's why we would reach to another leg of the tripod, being the body perhaps. So if the mind's exhausted, it's really good to use the body and exhaust it, and it evens out all these tripod legs. So then we're less wobbly. We're just at least at an even keel, and we can move up from there. And the thing is, with the body, it's really tricky because the body gets exhausted physiologically. So we feel too tired to actually get up and do something with our body. But the best thing we can do is move our body, because even the muscles rubbing against each other creates a piezoelectric effect in the body, and it creates energy for us to utilize. So at that time when you think you're so sore and tired that you actually can't do anything else, this is what the mind is telling us. So if the body is tired, then the mind is starting to get tired as well. So before the heart gets tired, we want to kick that into play, to care enough about ourselves that we're going to actually do something to help ourselves. So we can reach to the external and have a coffee, or we can use food, or we can use smells. We can use a lot of different things from the external world to help the internal world. The trick is, when you're mentally tired, to actually remember things like this, to remember that I have a tool to even reach for, can be a little bit overwhelming. It just can be too much, and you don't even think about it till later. It's like, oh, I actually knew what to do. I just couldn't think of it at the time because of that mental fatigue. And same with the emotional fatigue, the carer's fatigue that we have. And we get really tired of caring for others. And the reflection for that is, have you actually cared for yourself? Where the heart gets exhausted so much to the point that it will not care for itself. It will happily, again, prop itself up in external ways, trying to relieve that fatigue. And all it's doing is just causing a little bit of a distraction while the problem is still there. So with all of these things, as I say, it is a real recognition of what we can do to help ourselves. And when we know we're struggling, so with the example of, the body being fatigued and knowing tools to actually fix it, but the mind is so tired it doesn't even remember what to go and do or think it should, little prompts around the house to remind you, or a routine. And routines, I really struggle with them. That's all too boring. If I plan a week of meals and try and give myself a routine, I'll get to the first day and the independent one in me will say, I'm not going to tell me what to eat today. I'm going to eat whatever I like. So I'll break the routine just because I don't like being told what to do. But routine that you can get into without even thinking is really, really refreshing. So if you can come up with a routine to do in the mornings that taps into the mind and the body and even the soul or the heart, it's a really good way just to even out the tripod legs before you even get out of bed and start your day. So you can do things like with the body, as I say, when we move the body, it actually creates an energy within itself, just with those muscles rubbing against each other. So this is what humans love to stretch. It is actually a way to enliven, to wake up the body and create space to allow movement. So once you've been asleep or resting, we've been in a similar position for a lot of hours that we don't do when we are awake and conscious. So we can wake up really stiff. So if that's the case, you might be encouraged subconsciously, you might just go straight to a stretch and understand your body has inherent wisdom of what it needs, and it will do it without you having to make the choice. So allow yourself to stretch in bed, create room, get the muscles starting to work. If you yawn, do not ever suppress a yawn. A yawn is a powerful tool for us to awaken the mind. So even encourage yourself to yawn. And what a yawn will do, it will open up the jaw. So think, as I've said in other videos, if you've been watching, is within the jaw we hold so much of our tension, and in different parts of the body there are things called proprioceptors that report back to the brain exactly where we are in time and space, what the environment's like, how safe we are, what body position we're in. So when you yawn, you are breaking state with those proprioceptors. It's like you're wiping the blackboard clean so the mind can go, right, I'm ready, what's next? Rather than all the remembrance that these proprioceptors hold of where you are in time and space, because that involves all of the past stuff that we drag along with us. All those mind goblins and body remembrances of injury and trauma and toxicity and that sort of thing. So a stretch and a yawn is actually a powerful thing. And when we do actually yawn and break that state in the jaw, it resets our mental slate to blank. And again, we start fresh. With that intake of fresh air, it is actually cooling the energy in the head, and that actually shrinks our vascular material. It encourages the blood flow around the brain. The cerebral spinal fluid moves more fluidly around our centers. And when we intake the breath with that yawn, it actually moistens parts of the lungs too, the moisture sacs in the lungs. So never suppress a yawn. So this is setting yourself up for the best day possible. If you're still in bed, do it in bed. If you wait till you get out of bed, that's great too. But force a stretch, force a yawn if it doesn't come naturally. So you've rubbed the muscles against each other. The body's starting to awaken. The mind, the brain is working as it's had this blast of cool air. The lungs are ready for the day. They've been pre-moistened, ready to filter out all of the pathogens and things that we breathe in. And then I would enliven the heart. Just think quickly of 3 things you're grateful of. Even if it's a matter of, I'm grateful for a pillow, I'm grateful I actually can take a fresh breath, and I'm grateful I have an opportunity to start a new life today. Every given second is an opportunity for a new life. I'm just putting my little glasses on here and saying hello to people just popping on to the YouTube. So this is awakening, say, the mind, the body, and now the heart with this gratitude. So what we are putting our attention and focus on is what we'll be actually seeing during the day. So it's that filter of perception, what glasses I'm going to put on to look through today. Is it the rose-colored glasses, or is it the real scratched, dirty, muddy ones, depending on what information you have put into your mind. And this is something that's very pertinent to today, today's society, and particularly to our little ones, be it what we are perceiving as our reality is really our reality, isn't it? You know, we create everything based on what we're absorbing. So, for example, if you are starting your day thinking about these beautiful, amazing things that we're grateful for, the mind has exercised its neural pathway, it's reached into the memory, it's found some great examples of things that we are grateful for, that we feel good for. So that neural pathway is strengthened. So when we go looking to make a decision as a response for an experience in our life, that gratitude, that neural pathway, that's the strongest one. So that's where the mind will go to those positive memories where we were safe, we're loving, we're grateful, we're open. And that's the juice that the brain will use to make the next best decision for you. So imagine the reverse of that, that if I am thinking of all the turmoil in the world, I may have scrolled through social media and seen a lot of tragedies, a lot of comparison things. You know, we see lots of amazing things and, geez, I haven't got that. I don't look like that. I'll never get there. I'm too busy working or whatever. So the negativity that you've now exercised those neural pathways to reach back into, that's thicker. And the brain will make the most efficient use of energy possible. So when you need to make a decision, it will look for that thicker neural pathway. It's like, that's the quickest way to get the information I need to make my next decision. So the brain will reach back to all of the negative examples that you've fed it and make a decision from that scared, protective place. And this is why we really, 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 really need to be careful what our children are consuming, what is being pulled into their awareness, and what they are making their decisions from. What kind of library of information in the back of their brain are they reaching back into and drawing examples from to make their decisions into the future? This is just how the brain works. And the more we understand this, the more we can protect ourselves and our beautiful new humans coming up through the ranks from, real life, basically. You know, we need to be really careful of this scroll hole and the fakeness that comes through on social media, but not just on social media, on any media. Our children are actually taught in schools as to how manipulative the media is, how they heighten our emotions to, really reach to those parts of us that feel insufficient so they can fill that gap for us and sell us a product or sell us an ideal or a belief system. So the more aware we are of this, the more we'll all probably put the bloody phones down and turn off the television and just go into real life and use that as our example to make our best decisions from, because that is our life, really, isn't it? It's not all this stuff that we see on screens. And I'm talking at you through a screen now, so, isn't that I'm trying to even think of the word. It's not even oxymoronic, but, it's synchronistic. So if you have found yourself scrolling through the doom scroll or looking for information that has got the mind on alarm, run it through all those energy centers. How's it making the body feel? Is it making the body feel small and contracted and in danger? Or is it actually opening us up and encouraging us to be more creative rather than scared and responsive in our life? A lot of the exhaustion that we are suffering from as little humans now, it's just information overwhelm. absolute information overwhelm. We are bombarded with 7 trillion bits of information, this little computer processor of a brain. That's a lot of information to filter through and sort out and file away as to what's necessary and what's unnecessary for us to carry into our present moment. That's a lot of work just to filter out all of that sensory information. So when we are exhausted in the physical or in the mind or in the heart, again, we're starting our day off fresh with the yawn and the stretch and the gratitude. But we really do need to be mindful about what we're feeding this brain. And we're still cavemen. We haven't evolved that quickly that technology has. And to keep up with all of this, it is exhausting on all levels. So it's a real call to not particularly regress, but to definitely go back to some simpler things in life. And if you've been a follower of my work for a while, it's something that I've definitely had to come to terms with, as a lot of my work is online with people all over the world. And it's easy to believe you need to be a part of social media and all of that sort of thing, because that's where I'm presenting my work. But what I'm doing, you've probably seen me less and less on social media, as we've now put our work into a more private container within an app for members to receive the content. And part of that is not just for our members and our clients' benefit, but for our own, because for me to deliver on social media, I need to spend time there. And that's not information that I do always want in my head, particularly nowadays. It's not, the social media it was 15 years ago, where it was really just to connect directly with your friends and family. As you scroll through that news feed, 80% of it is sponsored ads when you really pay attention to it. So, I'd like to choose when I get sold to. So we're now delivering our work in a different way. So it's just really something that I've become mindful of as I've watched myself waste a lot of time where I could be doing other things to care for myself, so I'm not so exhausted. And I just see our little people so lost in this world of technology and information and then they want to calm their senses, because their mind and their heart has been exposed to so much information that naturally their physical body just cannot cope with. So they need to calm their senses and the physical body, and a lot more children are being diagnosed with sensory disorders because of this need to make ourselves feel safe. But it's safe from a pretend marketed world, if you know what I mean. So anyway, that's enough about exhaustion. And the whole thing about carers fatigue too, we often do forget to care for ourselves. So we are pouring from that empty cup, trying to run around and care for everyone else. And yes, it's great to do that. And sometimes we feel we have no other choice. But the reality of it is we're not caring for people as best we can if we are starving ourselves of things that we actually need to. So the first thing to care for is yourself. Check what you're feeding your mind, check what you are feeding your heart, and check what you are feeding your body. And then we can give all the advice we like and run around and care for a million people. It really does add up very, very quickly. You care for yourself. So I'm a parent and a wife as well. So I care for others in the house, and they have friends and family, and I care for them as well. And I'm a disability support worker, so I care for clients, and part of caring for clients is caring for their family and how they all get along together. So before you know it, my mind is mentally caring, and my heart is mentally caring, and even my body is mentally caring for like 50 people. And if I'm not doing the right thing by me, I'm eventually not doing the right thing by the people I love and that I'm caring for, because I'm too tired. The mind gets into that flight. So we start to make decisions that aren't as compassionate and beautiful and wise as we normally would. So The mind is the medicine, but the main thing is minding yourself enough to do the work, to look after you, so we can look after everybody else. So the last thing I want to talk about, because, you know, we have this mental, physical exhaustion, the carer's fatigue, is the heart exhaustion, where we care so much it gets to the point where I just don't want to care for anyone else anymore. I just want the world to stop, even yourself. And as I say, not good for anyone. So go back to bed, stretch, yawn, 3 things you're grateful for, sets the mind up to just very instantly heal. A lot of body aches and pains will drop off just with those 3 things. Then we start again. But the other thing I wanted to talk about today was energy protection. You know, when you are a carer for people, and we're near people all the time, we live in societies, we live very close to each other, we actually do, without even knowing it, we hear a lot of each other's thoughts, we feel a lot of each other's emotions, and then if you want to take it to a body level, we share germs, pathogens, viruses, all that sort of stuff just by being near each other. So we are not just ever ourselves. We think we are, it's all us, but when you really step back and take stock of what's going on, I am walking away from every interaction with every person with a little bit of their mind, a little bit of their heart, and even a little bit of their body in a weird way. And many people in the world of self-help or even spirituality or energy work are very big on talking about the whole energy vampires and needing to protect yourself from others, protect yourself from negative people, and make sure other people aren't, you know, sucking the life out of you, sort of thing. But again, the main thing is awareness, really, of what's going on, and the fact that we do pick up on each other all the time. We do not even realize it. So we really are like walking antennas, and this empty space around us is an information field. If you're curious about this sort of work, you'll see on my website a series of pictures taken with what I've got is a biofield viewer, and it proves that whatever I'm thinking about changes the light spectrum around me. I'll see if I can put a link in the comments of this video as well. But it's a wonderful example of anyone walking into my space might pick up a white color of my thoughts, or a purple color, or a red color, however it's presented. But the thoughts are not just contained within this skull. They're everywhere. So we are all walking antennas, and we are picking up on each other's thoughts. Don't even realize it. We're picking up on each other's feelings. If you notice the difference between children nowadays, their body language, their facial expressions is very deadpan because they're communicating online. They're not communicating right here next to me. And 60% of communication is body language, and that feeling in the space between people. We feel each other's emotions. I'm sure you all know it. When someone might come home from work, you give them a hug and go, "Ooh, you've had a bad day. What's happened?" We feel each other. And then as far as the body's concerned, yes, we do pick up on each other's germs, pathogens, this sort of thing, interchanging of breath, even ideas about our body we pass on to others. So we're sharing our physiological aspect with each other. So there is definitely power in a bit of energy protection, but I consider it in a completely different way, not like energy vampirism and people are stealing energy from me. I'm a very strong, stable person most of the time and very calm. And when people need that, they'll fall into my slipstream. They'll probably resonate close to where I'm at. They've calmed themselves down and they'll move away in a better place. That's not just me, that's everyone. If I'm really excited and energetic and playful and somebody needs a bit of that in their life, they'll come up near me, they'll get a bit of a taste of that and they'll move away with that too. Good on them. We resonate. We are like musical creatures. My friend came to visit and we've got a drum set in our bar, and as he spoke, one of the drums started to resonate a sound because it was close to his frequency. It starts to take some of that away with it. Humans are the same. So It's not particularly a malicious, I'm going to suck the energy out of other people, but it really does happen as a reality. And we give our energy away to other people, leaving us very fatigued. So I have many people in my life as clients that are really exhausted. And you know what they think about? Other people's problems. They're the last person that they'll probably think about. And that's a beautiful thing, you know, very empathetic, beautiful beings caring for each other. But when we are thinking about other people and their problems all the time, we are expending mental energy on that, and it's gone from our cup to pour from. And we don't even notice how much we're depleting ourselves with this sort of thinking. And it's okay to think like that. But when we're aware of how it affects us, we can just play the game a little bit differently. So there is a little game that I have learned from one of my mentors, Dr. Sue Morter, and it's a very powerful game, and it's called Object Subject. So we are the subject of our life, are we not? We are the subject, the primary subject of our own lives. Everything else out there is an object. So for the sake of this exercise, what I'm going to encourage you to do is look at something in your field around you. So just pick something, whether it be a plant or a book or a chair. And what I want you to imagine yourself doing is picking all of your energy up in your own body. So with your mind, imagine you're picking up your whole energy body, your feet, your hips and everything. You've got the whole lot of your energy body in yourself, and you throw all of your energy at that object that you've chosen to use as the game. So you probably didn't feel any change at all there. So now pick something else in the room and imagine again picking all of your energy up and throwing it at the other thing in the room. So you've now thrown your energy at two things in the room. And just scan your body, see how it feels. Now what I would encourage you to do is look at the first item again. Call all of your energy back from that item to yourself. Just with your mind, call all of your energy back to me. Notice the change. Now look at the second item. And again, call all of your energy back from that. And notice the change in the body. Now, I play this game quite a bit just because it is very, very interesting experiment, but I use it as a tool as well, a lot. So play the game. Encourage others to play the game. Throw your energy at all sorts of things. You can practice it like an exercise. Throw it at the chair, call it back. Throw it at the same chair, call it back. Throw it at the same chair, call it back. And just notice that we often do not notice the difference when we throw our energy away, but we do notice when we call it back. So when we call it back, that's us. That's us in our power. Imagine what you're walking around like when you've thrown your energy at the 20 people you need to care for, and then all the other people you love and you worry about, and then all your shopping lists and the things you need to do and the tasks for this week and blah, 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 blah. No wonder we're exhausted. So play the game, subject, object. You are the subject of your life. It is no use depleting your life force on all the objects around you. Get yourself strong first and then care for others. Throw your attention and your focus on others from a stronger place, and just be aware of how powerful you are when you are all of you. So that is about it from me today, I think, for our Sunday Sippers chat, Tea with Fee. And play the game and shoot me some feedback. Let me know what you notice. And if you find it powerful, do it. Do it at the beginning of the day, do it at the end of the day. Whenever you feel exhausted, you don't even need to practice and exercise. Like if you're using it as a tool, all you need to do is notice I'm exhausted. Say to yourself, I call all of my energy back to me. Breathe deep into the belly. long, slow exhale, and start again. Notice the difference. So I hope that advice sees you well for your week ahead. Blow off the week that was. It has been a wild ride. As far as our energy weather is concerned, we've gone from the mind and how we express ourselves right into the river of spirit, higher purpose, the deeper meaning in life. And we are in a 2 energy month for April. So it is all about our relationship with ourself and our close relationships, really doing the work this month before the year ramps up. It's a 7 energy year. It is a year absolutely to change what we are doing in the physical in a more trusting, loving way. So use the energy frequencies on board with the energetic weather and take the dive in to work on yourself so your relationships can be much smoother, much less exhausting, and much more powerful. So that's it today. Enjoy your week ahead. Reach out if you do need a little bit of support. And if you are not in the membership yet of our app space, if you're keen to come and join us, go onto your Play Store, whether it be Apple or Android, and search for Mighty Networks. That's the app space. Download that onto your device. And then within the app, search for Riverina Wellness Centre and you will find us there. We have a free membership space there where we are creating a community of like-minded people in private that have all the freedom in the world to discuss all the important things in our lives, share our lives and tips and techniques to improve them, and just create a community where people feel held and supported. We also have a paid platform for gold members where you do get the recordings in your app of the daily energy weather every day with wellness techniques. You get a monthly wellness coaching plan set up with Em and a check-in contact with her every month. And we have weekly wellness workshops and all sorts of other good things to help you live your best life in there. And the paid membership, the gold membership, is the price of a cup of tea and a muffin. It's $11 a week, and that gets you an individualized coaching program with a monthly check-in, and that is gold. So I hope we see you within the membership app in that platform. And if you need a little bit of support, no matter where you are in your life, do reach out, send us a little message, and we will be there to help hold you in the most powerful space you can be. That's it from me today. Enjoy your week ahead. Bye-bye.